Hi everyone, welcome back. In this update, we're going to check out Ondo's price chart and I'm going to try to explain why the recent move on the downside may not necessarily be bearish, and in fact, it was exactly what we expected and also what we talked about in the previous update. And we are going to at least try to have a solid idea about what might be the next likely move in Ondo. Now, before we get into all that good stuff, real quick, we have to talk about this very important news, because I don't know about you guys. From my POV, this I think is an extremely bullish partnership for Ondo. And before I explain what is going on in here, I think you need to actually understand first who is the DTCC. You see, the DTC division of DTCC custodies more than $114 trillion in assets and also progresses over 4.7 quadrillion in securities transactions every single year. Now, to just give you an idea of how big of a number are we talking about, let me just tell you this. All of crypto space combined, okay? Anything and everything, including even the king itself, BTC, all of those is combined at roughly around only $3 trillion. DTCC here is 38 times bigger than the entire crypto market, and it sits basically at the center of virtually every stock trade made in America. So when that institution decides to put assets on a blockchain, the implications are gonna be very important and huge. And guess what? Ondo just became the only pure play tokenization firm to execute the first live trade when the pilot went live on July 15th, just a couple of days ago. Now, here is what actually changed. You see, before this announcement, Ondo's tokenized stocks were backed by real shares held at a broker-dealer, which is completely legit, but the link between the on-chain token and the real world share depended entirely on Ondo's internal record keeping. Now, under the new model, okay, that is actually going to change fundamentally, because DTC now generates what are called digital twins. Basically, these are tokenized entitlements that carry the exact same CUSIP or QSIP and ticker symbol as the underlying security, and those securities never leave DTC's custody infrastructure. Basically, in simple terms, this means that the token is really no longer just Ondo's promise. No, it's actually a DTC registered digital twin of the real stock, backed by the same record keeping system that every single bank and also institution on Wall Street already trust. Now, that difference actually matters quite a lot for pension funds, endowments, and also sovereign wealth funds who previously couldn't really hold tokenized stocks with the legal certainty that they required. Now let's talk a little bit about the timeline in here as well, because I think that's kind of significant. You see, it's very important to understand that the July 15th announcement was actually just the pilot. The full DTCC tokenization service launch is actually scheduled to go live on October of this year, basically in about 2 months. And that is when tokenized record keeping is going to become a standard service option that any DTC participant can simply turn on, covering Russell 1000 constituents, major ETFs, and also US treasuries. And that, my friends, is like thousands of securities going on chain with institutional grade legal backing. And Ondo is already the firm that executed the first live trade in the system with 70+% market share and also distribution across Binance, MetaMask, and basically every single major exchange. Now, as my final point, Ondo's CEO himself actually said something that deserves quite a bit of attention. He said Ondo is the only company that simultaneously is building all pathways for United States securities tokenization. Now, those pathways are the broker-dealer model, the DTC entitlement model that was announced here, and also number 3, the SEC registered direct issuance model from the confidential filing. And it's very important to understand that no other competitor, okay, literally nobody is building all these 3. Now you might say, well, okay, why is this important? You see, that's because Ondo, it seems like that is basically making sure that it is winning regardless of which architecture becomes the regulatory standard. And that, my friends, is like an extremely rare position to be in. And it's why we are extremely optimistic and bullish in Ondo. And if we get, for example, that proposal suggesting that Ondo is going to, with the money that they are making, maybe buy back some tokens, at that point, believe me when I tell you, I am going to buy a lot of Ondo tokens. Right now, that proposal is not confirmed yet. It's just basically, I would argue, a rumor. So eyes on that proposal too. And if it happens, I think in Ondo, basically the last concern that we are having is going to be gone. There isn't really going to be like a whole lot of reasons to be maybe a bit pessimistic about Ondo, because the only concern that we are having is the major token unlocks that are happening at the beginning of each year, adding roughly around maybe 25-30% to the circulating supply, which is really not ideal. But on the other hand, if you are attracting a good bit of adoption and more people and more institutions are using your platform, and at the same time you are using part of the money that you're making to buy back some tokens, okay, that could sort of kind of neutralize the effects of the major token unlocks, allowing the Ondo token to actually go up beautifully, as the fundamental of this project is just on a beautiful upward trajectory. So fundamental wise, I think this was a very positive news that I wanted to talk to you about. Now, with all that said, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on in like very short term. And if you remember the last time that we talked about Ondo, if I just go on maybe H1 time frame, there we go, we were right around these areas, I think, and the idea was that odds of this move to the downside is going to continue, since we believe maybe this is going to be from this point and not the highest high, an ABC in form of an expanded flat, which, excuse me, if we just go around here, it looks like this. This is our initial move down into a correction for B, and in it we are going to take this initial high, and then again a rather strong move down into C, and once again in it we are going to take the low of our A leg. This is basically short-term traders nightmare, and for our subwaves we're gonna have ABC into A, ABC into B, followed by a rather sharp move to the downside in form of, you know what, a 1 2 3 4 5 into our C. Now let's go on the live chart and see what do we have. In my view, this is most likely ABC down, followed by A, probably triangle to about here into B, and then another move up into C. And then what? In here, I'm thinking, yeah, we are having a 1 2 3 4 5 wave to the downside. And the question is, can we argue maybe, yeah, this is it, the end of our wave 5? I'm gonna say yes, you can argue that. And here is how. If I just go on maybe 5-minute time frame, you could technically say that maybe we are having from this point like a 1 2, and then the end of wave 3 is in here, correction for 4, and like another move to the downside into wave 5, which on a higher degree this is going to be into your wave 3, and then correction for 4, and maybe right now we are having yet another move to the downside into wave 5, and the end of our move to the downside is like extremely close. Do not get it twisted, this scenario can be in play. The question is, do I like it as my primary case? I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. Nope, I don't really think so. In my view, do not get it twisted, this is a 1-2 structure. However, the end of our wave 3 is probably in here, but the end of wave 4, maybe it's gonna be right around this area, and then we are having another move to the downside into our wave 5, which on a higher degree, it's actually most likely, at least in my view, the end of our wave 3, and then we're gonna have a bounce. Sure, but be careful guys, that bounce might just be a correction structure, a very slow and choppy move to the upside into our wave 4, and then what? Yep, we are probably going to get another move to the downside into wave 5. Now, one more reason to believe maybe this scenario is going to play out comes down to classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, and the fact that right now we aren't really around a very important support area, and the next important region, it's actually down here between, let's say, 33.5 to about 35.5 cents. Now the thing is, at the moment at least, going down big time in Ondo in order to get to about the lower band of this region, it's not really my base case. But I would argue that we are most likely going to at least get to about the higher band of this thing, meaning from the current point, yeah, we're gonna have maybe like a 5 to 8% more move to the downside, and that again, it's going to be extremely normal. Now, Here's a very important point. I believe when we get to about this area, odds are at that point we are going to witness a very strong bounce back. Why? Okay, two important reasons and two different scenarios. Scenario number one is this thing suggesting we are having, an ABC flat, which in that case, well, okay, not only we are going to get a bounce back from here, but also this is actually going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order to take the highest high in here for the first target, about 42.5 cents. And I think we're going to go quite a bit higher. Minimum, I would argue we're going to get to about the higher band of this region, around 47.5 cents. And if we are lucky, who knows, maybe we're going to get a confirmed break of it, meaning in weekly time frame, we're going to go above this region, get a candle close, then do a slow and choppy pullback, maybe like 2 weeks of consolidation, and then have a move up. The moment that's in this phase right in here, we end up taking this important high. At that point, this level is confirmed as a broken resistance, meaning from that point moving forward, it's going to act as a support. And since above here, pay attention please, we don't really have a whole lot of the strong resistances, odds are at that point in Ondo, our move up is going to continue at quite a bit of a rapid pace. So scenario number one suggests after we hit this important area, we're going to have this beautiful move on the upside. Now, scenario number two, which is a little bit actually pessimistic, suggests that maybe we are wrong and maybe this to about the highest high was the end of some sort of a move on the upside, maybe impulse, maybe a correction, doesn't really matter. That scenario suggests basically this is the beginning of a phase down. But here's the thing, even at this point, question for you, what happens after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of Elliott waves? I think you know the answer if you are a regular viewer of the channel. You see, Elliott suggests after a 5 wave, bullish or bearish, one way or the other, we're going to get a move on the opposite direction, which in this case naturally translates to a bit of a move on the upside. So in Ondo, as you can see, bullish or bearish, one way or the other, seems like that we are going to get a move up soon. And at that point, when we get our move, all eyes on the shape of the move, okay? That's really the key point. If we end up having a quick, immediate, strong bounce back without a lot of overlapping of the waves, wonderful sign. Hopefully this is going to be the low of our correction. This ABC flat is in play, meaning this move is going to continue for quite a bit. God forbid, if we're going to have instead maybe a rather slow and time consuming move to the upside, and between our pullbacks in here, we're going to have constant overlapping of the waves, guys, that might be a bit of a problem, suggesting the next move is going to be one to the downside. For now, let's count on maybe another small continuation phase to the downside and then have a bounce back. And when we get this thing, we are going to have time to talk about it and make new updates and basically based on the structures in here, identify what might be the next likely move. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on those charts. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.